You wrote a book 25 years ago that has remained at the top of the list of the strategy books. What were the key messages in that book?
Well, I've written a number of books about strategy. I think my first really major book on strategy was a book called Competitive Advantage, and I think the really major message of that was really how to look at the industry in which you compete and how to think about what causes industry profitability and how, by understanding that, a company can improve its own position. In that book, I introduced the so-called 5 forces framework, that in any industry you've got to look at the power of the customer, the power of the supplier, the barriers to entry, the threat of substitute products, and the nature of the rivalry itself, and that those 5 forces collectively define really the profit potential of any business. And this was, I think, a breakthrough in the field, because really we had no systematic way of looking at industries. The next book was a book called Competitive Advantage, in which I really talked about how to look at a company's own position and introduce the concept of the value chain. Any company, when it competes, is simply conducting a lot of activities, marketing activities, procurement activities, service activities, and so forth. And the value chain provided a framework for understanding how a particular company was competing versus its competitors, and therefore sharpening the distinctions in terms of its position. I would also say that equally important to the first 2 books is an article called What is Strategy, which really tried to get at the fundamental distinction between strategy and operational improvement.